The Internet, a remarkable network of computers throughout the world that enables people to communicate instantaneously across land, ocean, and even outer space, while at the same time provides its users, including you, a wide array of entertainment options, social networking possibilities, and news and information choices. If you're like countless others, you go online frequently to look for facts and figures. But only a small fraction of people know how to use the Internet to its maximum benefit when trying to locate and manage information. For you as a student, that means finding and managing the data you need for reports and term papers. The purpose of this program is to show you how to navigate the Internet efficiently, so you can quickly find and organize online information. The more you know about your browser, the program that gets you onto the web and lets you navigate around it, the more likely you'll be able to meet those dual goals of speed and efficiency. As you undoubtedly know, there are many browsers, and for the most part they're fairly similar. We'll focus on Internet Explorer, since it's by far the most widely used. Internet Explorer sits atop the web page and is composed of 5 rows or tiers when all are turned on. Some provide website information, but most allow you to perform a number of tasks, too many to cover in one program. So we'll focus only on the tasks most useful to students when they gather information for reports or term papers. We'll start on the 3rd tier, the menu bar. Each top or main menu item heads a pull-down list of tasks you can perform. For example, under the File menu, you can save the contents of the web page to a file, the Save As task, print it, or send it via email, either as the page itself or as a link to the page. Emailing a web page or its link can be very useful when you're working on a group or committee project. Under the Edit menu, you can perform a number of tasks similar to those found in word processing programs. For example, you can copy what you've selected and then paste it into a word processing document. That's ideal for quoting accurately, of course, but don't forget to give proper credit by writing citations according to your teacher's instructions. The Favorites menu lists your favorite websites, those you've bookmarked, that is, selected for instant retrieval. Click one, and it immediately takes you to that site. As you may know, you can add a website you're currently visiting to your list of favorites, that is, bookmark it, by holding down your mouse button on Favorites, sliding down to Add to Favorites, and then releasing the button. The pop-up dialog box allows you to rename the website if you wish, or leave it as is. In either case, simply click the Add button to add the site to your favorites list. Now let's say you're working on a term paper or similar project that will require visitations to a lot of different websites, many of which you'll need to return to from time to time. In that case, you may find it useful to create a separate folder that contains links to those sites to speed up retrieval later on. To do that, click Favorites, then Organize Favorites. In the pop-up menu that appears, click the New Folder button. Name the folder and press the Enter key. Now you're ready to place pertinent websites into the folder. The next time you find a website you'll want to refer to later, click Favorites and Add to Favorites. Retitle the page if you want to. This one is run by the Preservation Trust, so we'll make Preservation Trust our new title. Then, in the pull-down menu, select your History Report folder, or however you've titled it, and click Add. A link to the site is now in the folder, ready for rapid retrieval. In time, you'll have a collection of appropriate websites ready to be retrieved instantly. Now, let's look at some items on the 4th tier of Internet Explorer. When you click the Star Favorites button on the left, 3 tabs appear: Favorites, Feeds, and History. If you click the Favorites tab, a pull-down list of all your bookmarked websites appears. Click any of them, and you're taken to its associated website. The Feeds tab isn't pertinent to our discussion here, so we'll move on to the History tab, which allows you to look for a site you'd like to revisit but haven't bookmarked. You'll find this feature particularly handy when you meant to bookmark a site, but were interrupted and forgot. The pull-down arrow lets you choose how to display the sites in several different ways: by date, by site alphabetically, by most often visited, or by the order in which you've visited them today. There's also a search box in which you can type a word or two that might be in the web page's title. When you click the search button, a list of possible sites appears. If you click the star and arrow button, an icon or button of the web page you're currently visiting will be added to the Favorites bar to the right. When a Favorites bar icon or button is clicked, you're immediately taken to its web page, a faster retrieval method that eliminates several clicks had you put the page in your Favorites list. By the way, you can add your History Report folder to the Favorites bar by going to the Favorites list and right-clicking the folder, then choosing the Add to Favorites bar command in the pull-down menu. And there it is. The fifth tier of Internet Explorer, the tab section, lies below the star Favorites button and the Favorites bar. The first tab is normally your home page, here Google. If you want to open a second website while keeping the first one ready to view, click the small tab to the right, and then select and click a site from your Favorites list, or from a list generated by a search. Or type the website's address in the address bar on the second tier, and click the arrow to the right of the address. The second tab, now filled, holds the website you've retrieved. You can tab many web pages. Click any of them and its page comes into view. Now, before we move on, a word of caution. Internet Explorer, as with all other browsers, has many different versions. A new version is released every few years, so the version of Internet Explorer you use may not look exactly like the one we've shown. If that's the case, you may have to use the Help menu or do a little searching to find all the commands we've mentioned. Regardless of the version you use, however, once you avail yourself of your browser's main capabilities several times, using it will become second nature, and you'll find navigating the Internet fast and easy. Even so, to really take full advantage of the web, you'll need to be a knowledgeable search engine user. That's because the Internet has literally hundreds of millions of websites, and only by skillfully using search engines can you quickly find exactly what you need. There are many excellent search engines, but since Google is by far the most popular, and the second most popular, Yahoo Search, is so similar to it, we'll concentrate on Google. Now, before you begin your search, you'll need to narrow your topic, because that's a key factor in successful searches. Let's say you've been assigned to write a science report on dolphins. Well, that's a huge topic. There are about 36 kinds of them. So you've decided to narrow down the topic to bottlenose dolphins and what they eat, their diet. If you hadn't narrowed the topic and just typed dolphins in the search box, the search would have yielded almost 26 million websites, including pages on the Miami Dolphins football team and the Green Dolphin Street restaurant, a famous jazz club in Chicago, not even remotely related to what you're looking for. To find web pages on your specific topic, your best tool by far is the Advanced Search link. When you click it, you'll find that there are a multitude of ways to call out those millions of unwanted websites. Let's put dolphins in the All These Words box, diet in the box for this exact wording or phrase, and bottlenose in the one or more of these words box. In the Any of These Unwanted Words box, let's write football and restaurant. No need to call up those pages. On the Language pull-down menu, select English, assuming that's your language. File type can be any format. As for the domain, you'll probably want to use only .org, .gov, and .edu websites, because they're often run by research and scientific groups whose staffs are highly qualified to write about their specialties. Click open the second part of Advanced Search, and in the date entry select Past Year, because you'll want recent research but don't want to be too limiting. In the Where Your Keywords Show Up box, select In the Text of the Page. and finally select the United States for the region. Okay, let's look at the results. We've cut down the list to just 7 from almost 26 million. In other words, virtually 100% of the irrelevant, unwanted sites have been eliminated. And the very first site looks like exactly what you need. And it is a site with lots of pertinent information you can use for your report, and you retrieved it in less than a minute. Advanced search truly can be a report writer's best friend. By the way, under the Edit pull-down menu in Internet Explorer, there's a very handy Find on this page command. It's an especially helpful feature if you've found a very long article in which you need to quickly find pertinent data. For example, let's say you want to find information on squid for your report on the dolphin's diet. Well, just type squid in the search box, and immediately it will be highlighted in the text for easy detection. Now, you may have heard the old saying, garbage in, garbage out. In this instance, meaning that bad information results in a bad report. So you'll want only the best high-quality information when you do your research. That means you have to be selective. When doing research, it's generally a good idea to stay away from blogs and .com sites, because they seldom give balanced information. Remember, most of what's on the web has not been reviewed for balance and accuracy by professional editors. Generally, the most reliable sites are those run by educational institutions, such as universities, the ones with .edu extensions. Also, museums, whose site addresses often end in .org, and government agencies, whose web addresses end in .gov. .gov sites can be particularly useful if you're looking for statistical, historical, scientific, or legislative information. Now, a word or two on copying. Actually, 4 words. It's a bad idea. First, you learn very little, if anything, when you copy. Second, when you pass it off as your work, you're being dishonest. And third, your teacher will know. It's okay to quote and give your source, but wholesale copying does you no real good, defeats the purpose of the assignment, and can lead to extreme embarrassment, or worse. The Internet, then, is an important, some believe one of the most important, technological developments of our time. You need to be familiar with the capabilities of 2 programs to get the most out of this incredible worldwide resource. The first is the browser. The browser hooks your computer into the Internet and has a host of capabilities to speed and simplify your use of the web. The second is the search engine, which allows you to retrieve appropriate websites quickly and efficiently whenever you use advanced search tools. Because most websites are not checked for accuracy, it's best to use .edu, .gov, and .org sites when doing research. On the other hand, blogs and .com sites are generally unreliable sources of information. While it's easy to copy web-based material, it's not a good idea because it's dishonest, and it can lead to a failed assignment and extreme embarrassment. The Internet, when navigated and used correctly, it's a powerful worldwide resource literally at your fingertips.